I'm just an average corporate slave. No talent, no connections, no dreams left worth chasing. Every day starts the same and ends the same. Wake up, work, come home, repeat. Somewhere along the way, I stopped living and started existing. They say hard work pays off. That if you just keep going, keep pushing, keep sacrificing, eventually something changes. But no one tells you how long eventually is, or what it costs. Bills stack up, deadlines never stop, and expectations only get heavier. Sometimes, I wonder if this is all there is. And then there's him, my boss, a man who built his life on people like me, people who don't push back, people who don't quit, people who don't have a choice. I used to care. I used to feel something when he screamed. But now, it's just noise, like a broken machine, stuck repeating the same words. Everyone leaves eventually. Lights go out. Chairs empty. But I stay, because if I don't, tomorrow just gets worse. By the time I leave, the world is already asleep. Streetlights blur past. Same road, same turns, same destination. That never really feels like home. I was already exhausted before I even opened the car door. All I wanted was silence. Just a few minutes to breathe. But peace was never waiting for me here. The second she saw me, it started again. More yelling, more blame, more demands. It didn't matter that I had worked all day. To her, I was only useful when I was suffering. Inside the house, the pressure only got worse. A leak in the roof. Water in a bucket. Another problem to solve. She pointed upward like it was my fault the sky was falling. And I said nothing. So after giving everything to work, I climbed onto the roof. At night. Alone. Still wearing the same clothes. No rest. No thanks. Just more labor. My hands were shaking from exhaustion. But even then, she kept shouting from below. Every word pulling at my focus. Every second making the edge feel closer. Then it happened. One bad step. My foot slipped. And for the first time in years, everything became silent. I hit the ground before I could even scream. For a second, all I felt was pain. Then even that started fading. The rain felt farther away. The world felt farther away. My vision blurred. I could barely keep my eyes open. But I saw her, standing there, looking down at me. She wasn't crying. She wasn't scared. If anything, she looked relieved. Everything started going dark. The roof disappeared. The rain disappeared. The pain disappeared. For the first time in years, there was silence. Then something changed. I wasn't falling anymore. At least, I don't think I was. It felt like I was floating. Like I was drifting through endless darkness. Then I saw a light. Small at first, then bigger and bigger, until it became the only thing I could see. Somehow, I knew I was supposed to go toward it. The next thing I knew, I was gasping for air. Grass pressed against my hands. Warm sunlight touched my face. I slowly pushed myself upright. The rain was gone. The roof was gone. The pain was gone. I looked around. Trees. Blue sky. Fresh air. This wasn't a hospital. This wasn't heaven. And it definitely wasn't home. I opened my eyes expecting pain. Instead, I was staring at the sky. The first thing I noticed was that my body felt different. Smaller. Lighter. I sat up and looked at my hands. Okay, why do I look like a kid? Did dying come with a refund policy? Before I could think about it any further, my stomach twisted. Hard. A strange pressure built inside me. Then a voice echoed through my head. Impurities must be expelled. Excuse me? What does that even mean? 1 second later I found out. Violently. I threw up. Not normal throw up. Not even close. I threw up a rainbow. An actual rainbow. With sparkles. As the nausea finally faded, something appeared in front of me. A floating blue screen. Status. Inventory. Crafting. I blinked. It stayed there. I waved my hand through it. Still there. Apparently dying wasn't enough. Now I had a game menu. I found a pool of water nearby and leaned over it. The face staring back at me wasn't the one I remembered. It was me, but younger. Not a kid anymore. But not the exhausted man who fell off that roof either. Like someone pressed reset on my life. When I focused on the floating screen again, a new message appeared. Beginner survival recommended. Craft basic tools. Finally, an instruction I could actually understand. The crafting menu opened and filled with designs. Knives, clubs, spears, simple tools. I spent the next few hours gathering branches and stones. The first thing I crafted was a dagger. It wasn't beautiful. It wasn't balanced. Honestly, it looked like something a caveman would reject. But it worked. And for the first time since arriving here, I felt like I was making progress. Later, I climbed one of the tallest trees I could find. The view stole my breath away. Endless forests stretched in every direction. Mountains stood far away on the horizon. And beyond them, the ocean. This world was huge. And somehow, it was mine to explore. When I climbed back down, all my crafted tools were spread across the ground. A knife, a club, a short spear, a hammer, a pick. Then another system window appeared. Crafted items detected. Store items in inventory. I stared at the tools. Then at the screen. Then back at the tools. Wait, you're telling me I've been carrying all this stuff manually this entire time? I accepted the inventory prompt. The moment I pressed yes, every tool vanished. The knife, the spear, the hammer, gone. I nearly had a heart attack. Then I opened the inventory. Everything was sitting neatly inside. Okay, that's actually awesome. To test it, I focused on the spear. A flash of blue light appeared. The spear materialized in my hand. I stored it again. Pulled it back out. Stored it again. I may have spent the next 5 minutes playing with inventory storage. No regrets. Then I noticed something. The sun was moving. Fast. Night was coming. I had tools. I had water nearby. But I still didn't have a safe place to sleep. If I wanted to survive my first night, I needed shelter. I looked toward the distant coastline. Water. Food. Open terrain. It was the smartest option I had. So I started running. And immediately noticed something strange. I felt incredible. My legs moved effortlessly. No pain. No stiffness. No exhaustion. I was covering ground faster than I ever could back on Earth. Either this body was special, or being dead had unexpected benefits. The farther I ran, the more beautiful the world became. The ocean sparkled under the afternoon sun. Birds circled overhead. Warm wind rolled in from the coast. For the first time in years, I wasn't rushing because I had to. I was running because I wanted to. As I reached higher ground, I stopped for a moment. The view was unbelievable. Endless blue water, white beaches, forests stretching beyond the horizon. I stood there smiling like an idiot. This world was amazing. Then I saw it, built into the hillside overlooking the ocean. A natural cave, dry, hidden, protected, big enough for a shelter. I sprinted toward it. The moment I stepped inside, excitement exploded out of me. I jumped into the air. Finally, a roof over my head. No landlord, no rent, no angry neighbors. Just me and the ocean. Life was looking up. A blue system window appeared. Shelter location acquired. Recommended construction. Basic bed. Storage area. Fire pit. Water collection. I stared at the list. Then looked around the cave. Then back at the list. Okay. Tomorrow starts survival mode. I headed back toward the cave carrying my prize. 2 fish. Not exactly a feast, but it was enough to keep me alive. Considering where I started this morning, I'd call that progress. The cave already felt different. Less like a random hole in a hillside. More like home. I set the fish down and started preparing them. Tonight, I was eating better than I had expected. As I worked, the system appeared again. Blueprints filled the air around me. Storage, shelter, furniture, basic survival structures. Apparently, the system wasn't just helping me survive. It was helping me build. The fish went over the fire. The smell alone was enough to make my stomach growl. I hadn't realized how hungry I was. For the first time since arriving here, I felt something close to normal. Blue light suddenly surrounded me. The system pulsed. Energy flowed through my body. Something was changing. Something was improving. Level up. The words appeared before me. My muscles felt stronger. My senses felt sharper. Even my thoughts seemed clearer. If this was what leveling up felt like, I wanted more. The system continued expanding the shelter plans. Storage racks, sleeping area, workstations. Everything seemed focused on turning survival into something sustainable. For the first time, I could see a future here. I finished eating and sat near the fire. The warmth felt good. The cave felt safe. The ocean breeze drifted through the entrance. For a moment, I forgot how dangerous this world probably was. Night arrived quickly. The sky outside turned dark. The sounds of the forest changed. Everything felt quieter, but somehow more alive. Then something moved. Fast. A shadow flashed past the cave entrance. Gone before I could focus on it. I stood immediately. Every instinct told me something wasn't right. An alert appeared. Movement detected. Unknown presence. Scanning. I stared at the entrance waiting for another glimpse. Nothing came. A second notification appeared. No immediate threat detected. Target no longer present. The system seemed satisfied. I wasn't. Something had definitely been there. What I didn't know was that I had been watched for hours. Far beyond the cave, deep within the darkness of the forest, a massive predator observed everything. The fire, the shelter, the human. The creature never approached, never made a sound. It simply watched, studied, judged. This land belonged to it. And I had unknowingly built my home inside its territory. Hidden within the darkness stood the ruler of these woods, an ancient Fenrir. Its glowing eyes never left the cave. Patient, silent, waiting, not deciding how to kill me, deciding whether I was worth killing at all.